All right, folks, listen, I am excited to share with you this no money down program that actually I've used for many years, probably within the past 15, 20 years. Now, the reason why you haven't heard much about this program as of late is because the market has been ridiculous, right? Sellers pretty much didn't have to entertain no money down offers because buyers were competing over the houses. They were paying over asking and they were putting 20, 30, 40, 50% down. So why would a seller take a house off the market for no money down? Well, now that the market is shifting, guess what? Sellers are now entertaining these offers, okay? Now listen, this program I think is going to be ideal for someone that makes money, right? You make good money on a monthly basis, but you just don't have enough money saved up for your down payment, right? You don't have the 3% or the 5% to put down on a home, but you can certainly cover a mortgage with the amount of money you're making in on a monthly basis. So this particular program I think is going to be ideal for you. And those are the type of buyers that I've helped in the past get into properties where they just didn't have enough savings, but they had bankroll, they had monthly, they made enough on a monthly basis that it can carry a mortgage. So let's get into the details of this program. All right, so this loan is brought to you by the USDA. Yes, the same people that stamp the meat, the USDA, United States Department of Agriculture. Now, this particular loan program is the USDA Rural Development No Money Down Program. So the key word is rural, okay? So this program is gonna be population based. So depending on where you're buying, depending on the population size, this loan would qualify, okay? So obviously areas where population is very dense, cities and things like that, this loan won't qualify. So it's going to be area specific. Now, a couple of things. This loan is available nationwide. So it's not just in Massachusetts, this is throughout the nation. But the guidelines are going to be similar, okay? So it is going to be population based. So what you want to do is make sure that your area, wherever you're buying, is going to qualify. So for instance, Worcester County, right? Worcester County, the city of Worcester does not qualify because of the density and population. Webster, Auburn, and Millbury. However, everything else does. So like Holden, Northborough, Oxford, Charlton, Southbridge, Sturbridge, all of that all qualifies under USDA. Obviously, the further west you go from Worcester, they're going to qualify, right? The more rural you are, it's going to qualify. If you start going east, like, Shrewsbury, Westboro, Framingham, those areas will not qualify. Now, I'm going to leave a link below where you can actually check if you're thinking about, if you're considering a certain area, that you can just type it in and see if that area does qualify. Now, there are some areas that are a little funky where maybe half the town might qualify and the other half may not, like Grafton is one of those towns, but it's just one of those things. It's one of the requirements. It's how the USDA does their loan. Now, other than location, what else do you need to qualify for the loan? Well, number one, credit score. Okay, so you could potentially get into this loan with a score as low as 600. However, the sweet spot is 640. So we're seeing that at 640, we're seeing a lot more of these loans get approved versus if they're a little bit lower, okay? But it's not impossible. So if you're above 600, I would certainly take advantage of it and see if you qualify. How do you qualify? Just talk to your lender, okay? So you want to ask your lender, do you offer the USDA no money down loan? They say yes, then they'll go through all the criteria with you and they'll let you know in advance whether or not if you qualify for that program. Now, it's different from the Mass Dreams program that we have with the grant. They're going to tell you up front whether or not you're going to qualify for that program. The Mass Dreams, you had to submit paperwork and then, you could have gotten denied if it didn't go through. But the USDA, it's going to be upfront. You're going to know right away if this is a program that you can actually utilize. Now, what kind of properties can you buy with this program? Now, this program is designated for single family homes. So single families, condos, modular homes, new construction, if the house is already built, you can utilize a USDA program for that. Now, you do have to be owner occupied. That's going to be a requirement. So it has to be a primary residence. And the good news is that you don't have to be a first-time home buyer. You can, if you're selling a property now and you want to buy a property with this program, you can do it. Now, there are income restrictions with the loan. So typically the way it works is going to be the household size will have a maximum that you can earn on a yearly basis in order to qualify. So for instance, Worcester County right now, a family of four. So, you have a couple and they have two kids. The income guidelines would be as long as you make under 137,000, you qualify for the program. Okay, so if you exceed that, you don't, because technically in their minds they say, well, if you make more than that, then you should be able to save enough for a down payment. But if you're under the 137, you qualify for the loan. Now understand this: it's no money down, but you're still going to need some money. Okay, so when you're buying no money down, you're actually still putting a deposit down. You're just going to get that deposit back at closing. So it's make sure you have at least a few $1,000s set aside so you can make an offer. Again, you don't need as much as the 3.5% or 5% down payment, but you still need a couple thousand there to get that offer approved. So the approval process is going to be a two-step process. Okay. The first approval is going to be through your lender. They're going to process all your paperwork, get the appraisal, all that stuff, and make sure that you qualify. Then they're going to send it to USDA. USDA is going to review your file, and they will give the final approval. Why do you need to know that? It's because your offer has to be structured a certain way. The typical 30-day closing, it's not going to cut it with USDA, okay? So you really want to push out your closing about maybe 45 days would be ideal, just to give that extra time for USDA to approve the loan. Now, because we're not really using the USDA program as of late, right? Not as much. Chances are you can probably get approval within a couple of days. But as more and more folks start utilizing this program again, we're going to see that get pushed out. So you really want to make that offer, that closing date, about 45 days. And listen, if you're working with an agent now and they're not familiar with the program, let me know. Have them reach out to me. I have no problems talking to them and letting them know what the guidelines are and how to structure the offer, so that way you can take advantage of that. Again, I think this program is going to be best for someone that makes good money on a monthly basis, that can certainly carry a mortgage, but just doesn't have a whole lot of money saved up, right? So this is going to be the ideal program. And I'm going to be honest with you, some of these towns that qualify are very surprising. Like, you may not consider these towns to be rural, but hey, under USDA, they do. So take advantage of the program. It's here. If you're in Central Mass, you're looking for an agent, I'll be more than happy to help you, or anyone on my team. Well, we are well versed in this, and we'll certainly make sure that you're taken care of. If you have any questions or comments, leave below. Subscribe to the channel, because I'll have more programs as they come out. Any type of financing program that I think is going to be beneficial to either first-time home buyers or buyers in general, that you can have an advantage over the market, I will certainly present it to you and make you aware of it. Well, all right, folks. Well, listen, thank you. And until next time.